Hey, leader, welcome back. We are entering the season of the universal leader principles. So, we've talked a whole lot about contemplative leader, the approach, the style of leadership, a very unique way of looking at leadership. It's really taking that pause, honoring that pause before reacting to crisis, reacting to the fires in our organizations, reacting to anger, reacting to other people's behaviors, the world's interactions, the things that we see on the news, all of that. It's honoring the pause. We talked about that on that last episode, honoring the sacred pause. It's a sacred pause, man. It is a sacred pause. And I wanted to get you interested, invite you into a new way of leading through this contemplative leader approach. And I'm so happy that we've spent all of season 1 and so far season 2 talking about the contemplative leader approach, getting you introduced, to initiate, to get us to move into a new way of looking at leadership. And so slowly but surely, we've been doing that. We, me, and you, as we meet every single week. And I want to invite you in to now going a little deeper with me. And that is introducing you to the 5 principles, the 5 spiritual principles that we anchor ourselves into as contemplatives. Now, there are a gazillion principles, depending on your traditions, depending on what you believe. There are infinite amount of spiritual principles. Cool. I chose 5 that are specific to leaders, 5 that I believe will serve us as we are rooting ourselves in this new way of leading. And so these 5 principles are what we're going to touch on briefly in the next few minutes, because I want to invite you into a space where we get to practice these and we get to put them in motion by better understanding them. And I can't do that in a 20 or 15-minute podcast episode. So the sanctuary for contemplative leaders is what I created for us so that we can embody these principles, so that we can do some somatic work in there, so that we can redefine, re-edit, readjust our nervous systems to this new way of leading. We're going to also do some subconscious work in there. Oh my goodness, great stuff that we're going to do in there. And of course, spiritual work that we're going to do in there. So we're going to use the science and spirituality in this incredible community called the Sanctuary for Contemplative Leaders. So I want to invite you in there right now so you can join us in there. It's a brand new community. It's away from social media so that we can take our sacred pause in there together and really get anchored into these principles. So let's start with our first principle, and that is divine assignment. Let's start with you, leader. You have a divine assignment that nobody else has. It is unique to you. This is your purpose. This is what brings you into your leadership practice. This is why we need you, specifically you. My divine assignment is not yours. Yours is not his. His is not theirs. We have to first understand as contemplatives that I was made with a very specific purpose for this time, space, reality, for the times we're living in right now. You have a divine assignment. Now, listen, I can already tell you the clue. You're a leader. You're in leadership. You followed the breadcrumbs. Ooh, you followed the breadcrumbs to this role that you're in right now. You're a leader in a formal capacity, or you may be leading a family, which is also a formal capacity. but you are in leadership. You are leading in this organization, you're leading your constituents, you're leading this nonprofit, wherever you're finding yourself in leadership. This is your divine assignment. So many folks out here are so interested in understanding their life purpose. It's one of the biggest questions we ask ourselves, isn't it? And some of us have answered breadcrumbs, right? Like we've taken a little piece of bread and we're like, "Ooh, that was a good little crumb. Ooh, I see another one over there. Let me take that one." So you're being led. You're being led, but now who's leading you? Ooh, who is leading you? Or a better question is, who put that divine assignment in me? How is that true? How is that true? And this is where spirituality is so important to embrace. I can't tell you what to think or believe. I want you to come to this conversation already open to the idea of spirituality and something bigger and greater than your ego is orchestrating your life, right? Now, however you discover that for yourself, and sometimes it is through religion. Sometimes it is through religion. I know that's where I found my spirituality was through my personal religion, right? I'm not going to share with you any of that with you about that because I'm not a theologian and I will never undermine what you believe. I mean, that's just been a contemplative, you know, a principle in that you're brilliant, you have a divine assignment. Who am I to tell you it's not yours? Who am I to tell you you're wrong? No, I'm just here to help you invite it in. I'm here to help you see that you have a divine assignment for yourself. And when you believe that you have a divine assignment, you're put on this earth for some very interesting and specific things, then you start seeing others through that same lens. So, leader, if you have a divine assignment, then that must mean your followers each have their individual divine assignments. That's principle number 1. See, contemplatives, we go deep. We go deep fast. Like, okay, get us off the boat. We're deep, right? We jump in the deep end because these are meaningful conversations that we have to have as leaders. And so that's the first principle. The second principle is the sacred responsibility that you have. The sacred responsibility that was given to you as a leader. The sacred responsibility to lead the lives that you were called to steward. What? Whether it's your family, whether it's your community, whether there are your constituents, whether it is, the team of 6 that you are leading right now in this tech company, this tech department, wherever you're finding yourself in this leadership role, you have a sacred responsibility. So number 1, you have a divine assignment. Number 2, you have a sacred responsibility to lead, to steward, to guide, to advise, to transform even the lives that you were called to lead. The people under your stewardship right now are there for a reason. I know. Some of you are like, well, I didn't hire this person. I inherited this person. Are you crazy, Denise? Like, uh, how is this? How is this intentional? How is this on purpose? Okay, get the ego out of the way, my friend. Get the ego out of the way because if you believe you have a divine assignment then and something greater than your ego is orchestrating the people, places, things, beings, beasts that are coming into your field, into your energetic field, the things you're magnetizing right now, the people that you are magnetizing right now, or the people that you're finding yourself leading, right? Because you inherited them. What's the lesson here? If that's true, Denise, okay, well, what can I learn from this? Because this employee over here is troubled and I don't want to keep leading this person. I actually want them to quit. Okay, well, hang on tight. Hang on tight, my friend. You have this role of leader, and we start seeing them individually with these unique attributes, these unique blessings. And although your humanly characteristics, your human personality is clashing, I get it. I've had followers, employees that I've clashed big time. But if I see past that and I see straight into their spirit, ooh, that's you seeing through the eyes of source. Ooh, gosh, how will that change your leadership? How does that change you, human? You now start seeing them for who they really are, spiritual, vibrational beings that also have a divine assignment, who also have sacred responsibilities. And it is your job to see that for your team, to see that for yourself and your team. That's a powerful one. See, we go deep here, my friend. We go very deep. Now, those are just two principles. The third one is, and I'm going to go through the next three very quickly because I want to invite you into the sanctuary so we can really get to know these principles and so that we can start using them in our leadership practice. So, number three is having expansive vision. So, when number one, you know you have a divine assignment and you're honoring that divine assignment. And number two, you now understand you have a sacred responsibility to steward these lives. Ooh, things change, things get deep. Oh my gosh, now they become very meaningful. The third thing is the expansive vision. So now you're not seeing them at face value. Now your personality and your ego is not in the way anymore. You now are able to see in 5D reality because this 3D reality that you're leading in sucks, right? Because the ego likes to get in the way. Oh, you're suffering. You're suffering right now through burnout, through exhaustion, through overwhelm, because you are living in this 3D reality that isn't very, very good for you. It's not good for your nervous system. And so this third principle, this expansive vision, puts you way ahead of your peers. It puts you far ahead of the game. You're able to see for the collective. You're able to go into 5D reality, and you do that through your mind's eye. You do that through very specific spiritual rituals. You get to now see ahead. You now get to see you can predict even what is going to happen because you are so tuned into the collective, because you are so understanding of patterns and trends, because you are so connected to your own body. And you're connected to this incredible vision that you did not have before because you were just going through the motions and letting your ego get swayed and be at the effect of the world. No, now you're a contemplative, my friend. Now you get to see things for what they really are. Oh, expansive vision. You want a strategic plan? There you go. The ultimate strategic plan. You want to have strategic vision? Come on over to this side of the world. It is extraordinary what you get to see for yourself when you are tuned in, because you are now the anchor, because now you can anchor into some spiritual principles that you did not have before. That's principle number 3. I'm contemplatives. I'm telling you guys. The fourth principle is embodied presence. Oh my goodness. This is where we talk all about our energy. We are now fully embodied. When we understand those first 3 principles, the fourth one is just so natural. It's like, yeah, this is me being this contemplative leader who's anchored. So your energy walks into the room way before your body does. Your energy, your spirit will be in these rooms, and they're going to talk about you when you're not there. And that's what they're anchored into. They're anchored into you, your integrity, your values, your compassion. So that energy that you are embodying is because you have practiced the first 3 principles that have led you into this fourth one. I know there are people talking about me in rooms right now, and I believe that they're talking about me in the best way possible. I know they're saying things about me that are lighting up the room. I know that my energy, because of what I put out into this world, who I get to serve and how I get to serve them, because I've practiced the first 3 principles, they have now become who I am. I am now fully embodied in this contemplative leader style, this way of being. I know that when people are talking about me, they are so lit up. They have come to life because of what I'm sharing, because how I've made them feel, because how I have seen them for who they are, not face value, but for the depth of their spirit. Oh my gosh. That's what I'm talking about, embodied presence. Oh, it is intoxicating. Just knowing this is so exciting for me. So you can have the same feeling. You can have the same thing if you follow these first three principles. Now, the fifth one is transformational impact is inevitable. It's inevitable because think about the first four principles. You have a divine assignment, number one, which means they have a divine assignment. Ooh. And my job is to honor mine and to help them figure that out for themselves because my employees may not know. I mean, they may be just, coming in every day for a paycheck and not really caring much more than that. But I want them to know that I see them. I see them for who they are because now I get to see them. And I'm wondering what that divine assignment is. Gosh, they have so many blessings. They have so many gifts. They have so many strengths. They followed the breadcrumbs too to this organization. I wonder if they know that. Ooh, how fun to discover this with them. That's number one. First and foremost, the divine assignment in you. Which means others have their own unique divine assignments. Principle number two, and here's a recap for you all. And then again, I'm going to invite you into the sanctuary. The second principle is the sacred responsibility that you have to steward these lives, to transform these lives. This is serious business. You want to call yourself a leader? You want to get paid like one? Well, here is the sacred responsibility that you must uphold. Whew. The third, expansive vision. No longer can you see the world in this 3D reality. No longer can you because you are a contemplative. You see far and wide and deep. Oh my gosh. I mean, no more surface level vision. You have expansive vision. So start thinking about how that can be true for you. How that can be true for you and your team right now. If you're able to use your expansive vision. Oh my gosh. We'll talk more about that in the sanctuary. So hang tight with me. You're going to want to dive into these principles. Then number four is the embodied presence. That's all about energy. It's all about energy. It's your body. It's your energy leading before your body enters any space. That's the being. That's the spiritual part of who you are. Oh my gosh. That's who they're talking about. That's who you want them to talk about when you're not in the room. And the fifth is transformational impact. Inevitable. You're going to impact your team. You're going to impact your organization. You're going to impact your nonprofit. You will impact policy if you are in public office. You will impact your people and the legacy you're going to leave because of it. Extraordinary. This is contemplative leadership style and the 5 principles that we use to operationalize this leadership style. So I invite you into this space. It's called the Sanctuary for Contemplative Leaders. There we are going to use 3 very specific modalities. It is a subconscious modality, a somatic modality, and a spiritual modality, so that we can take these 3 principles and put them into our leadership practice. You're going to want to learn more. And the invitation is on the table to join us. So wherever you are listening or watching this podcast episode, head to the show notes, or even my website, and you can go and look up The Sanctuary. Enroll. It's free. It's free right now. At the time of this episode recording, it's free. It may not be free 10 years from now. It may not be free in a year from now, or I don't know, a month from now, but it's free now. Because I'm not going to compete with social media. We're not going to fight for your attention on social media. So I've taken us off of social media so that we could be in a private, sacred space, so we can have these deep conversations that we don't want the algorithm to track, because it's none of their business what we do as leaders. And this is a space where we get to, again, embody these principles and start putting these into practice. So Sanctuary is not on social. It's in a private community that I created for us. So again, check it out, get in there and join us ASAP. I'm going to have my first workshop in there on these principles so that we can go deep together. All right, leader, cannot wait to serve you inside the sanctuary. I will see you soon inside the sanctuary or right here on our next podcast episode. Take very good care. I'll see you soon. Bye.